Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me tell you a story about three friends. One is Paulinus, or the other one is Gbemi, and the other one is Max. All of them made about 6 million naira per year, but the way they handled their tax was very different. Paulinus didn't really understand tax. He just paid what he was told without checking. The results, he paid more than he should. Gbemi was smart. She claimed her 800,000 naira tax-free allowance. She claimed her rent relief. She kept receipt of her business expenses. She paid much less, and everything was legal. And Max, he ignored tax completely. He didn't register, he didn't file, he didn't even pay. Then after 2 years, government sent him an estimated bills with penalties. He ended up paying the most, and it was very painful. So what's the lesson here? If you don't understand tax, you overpay just like Paulinus or get into trouble like Max. But if you know the rules like Gbemi, you pay the right amount and keep more of your hard-earned money. Let's break it down step by step. So step one is to apply the tax-free threshold. Tax-free. Now, the law says that the first 800,000 that you make, you pay 0% tax on it. That is the first 800,000 that you make. If this is your annual income, you are going to pay zero tax on it. That is 0% to be applied on it. So the second step will be to apply the various bands that there is in the tax. Step two, we'll apply the tax bands here. Tax bands. That is where you know all the percentage that you are supposed to pay. So this is the first step, 800,000. So the next amount that you have to pay, that is 2.2 million. That is, if you make 2.2 million, 2.2 million, they will charge you 15% of the 2.2 million. Then after this 2.2 million, you go to 9 million naira. 9 million naira. That's the next step. They will charge you 18% of this next 9 million naira. Then after the 9 million naira, the next 13 million naira that you make, they will charge you 21%. So after the 13 million naira that you make, we go to 25 million naira. They will charge you 23% of the 25 million. After the 25 million, 50 million and above, they'll charge you 25%. So it's progressive, they will charge each of these slice according to what you are making. So from what World Bank is saying, that most, like 90%, if not more, is more 90% of Nigerians are earning below 800,000 or have below 800,000 in their account. So as believers, we have to reject this by the blood. That look, this is not our portion. We have to make more money so that we'll be at this level. But they are assuming that we make this. So they are saying that a lot of us, or a lot of people, I'm not among them, a lot of people are this under this that don't have this in their account. We actually not pay tax. But our goal is to make as many money as we can. So the next step is to subtract deductions. That's your tax reliefs. You subtract any deductions. Deductions. That's your tax reliefs. Your tax reliefs. Your tax reliefs. First is your rent relief. Let's say you are paying a rent of 5 million naira per annum. 5 million per annum. They are saying that you have 20% off that 5 million naira that you are using to pay as your rent. So the 20% of this 5 million is actually equals to 1 million naira. But the tax is saying that the maximum that they can give you on this tax rent relief is 500,000 naira. So if you are paying rent of 5 million naira, your tax relief, if you deduct it, will be 500,000 minus whatever band. We will do an example to see anyway, minus whatever band you find here. Let's say, for example, let's say your rent is 2.5 million, 2.5 million, and you apply the 20% tax relief to actually give you 500,000. You remove it from the total amount from this money. But one thing is certain, you have to have a valid tenancy agreement. This is not the time to just pay money blindly to your landlord. Try to get your tenancy agreement right now. Have it handy because you have to present it when you are filing this tax. When you are filing tax, you have to have it handy. Don't just leave it for the landlord. You need to have something concrete this time around from 2026. So the next step is your business expenses. From this step, you have to, okay, let's make this one step 3. Step 3, let's say this is number 3 step. So business expenses also, business expenses. So let's say you are doing business and your business is what is actually making you to make that profit. You have to, show receipts for it. For example, all these our e-hailing riders, Uber and Boats and the likes of it. If you are buying fuel and the fuel is what you are using to make your profit on a daily basis, just try as much as possible to get receipts of that fuel. As money is coming in, try to get any filling station that you go to, you have to get the receipt for it. Try and pile it up. And this is not the time, maybe you'll be buying 1 or 2,000. Try to be buying full tank so that the receipt will be coming in bulks like that, so that it will not be there too much. You'll be having issues. Once you have this type of receipts and you present it before the authority that this is how you are a boat driver or an Uber driver or whatever, you present it to them that this is the business that you are doing. They will actually calculate it as, okay, how much did you make as your profit? Then you can now file your annual income tax. Else, you'll go into trouble. Also, other businesses like maybe you are a social media or a content creator. If you are a content creator, you have your photographers to pay. You have your directors, you have your lighting, whatever. So all these people that you are paying money, try to show receipt for it that you actually paid for these services, so that they will not calculate it as part of your income. So receipts, having receipts in this period is going to be very, very important. Okay, so let's have some worked examples here. Using Gbemi. Gbemi earns about 6 million naira per annum. Let's say this is Gbemi's worked example. So she earns about 6 million naira per annum. Let's see how much she could pay as tax. So if you apply the first threshold, that is the first tax-free threshold, that is 800,000 naira. On this 6 million, you have 800,000 naira. Minus this, you have 5.2 M. So if you apply the next one, that's the rent relief. Let's say Gbemi's, whatever her rent is, as long as she has a tenancy agreement, she applies 500,000 rent relief. 500,000 rent relief. Her balance from the 5.2 after applying the first one, that is you minus it, minus another 500,000, you have about 4.7 million naira. This is what is taxable in Gbemi's in income, 4.7 million naira. So we want to apply it here. Like I said earlier, we've already applied the first 800,000. That is making it 5.2 million. Then the rent relief has been deducted already. So the next one we are going to apply here is 2.2 million naira. That is to say that you deduct this, I beg your pardon, you say, okay, how much is left? Is there 2,200,000 in Gbemi's income? When you look at it, yes, there is. Gbemi's income is currently 4.7 million. So once you see this amount of money in her total income, you say, okay, let's apply 15% on this 2.2 million naira that Gbemi has in this 4.7 million, so that we'll write it down. We'll now see how much it is. So when we apply the 15% on this 2.2 million from this 4.7 million, we have 330,000 naira. 330,000. So this will be removed. So once you've removed this 2.2 million naira from Gbemi's income, the balance will be 4.5 million. Don't forget that. I beg your pardon. The balance will be 2.5 million naira. 2.5 million plus this will give you this. That's 2.5 million plus 2.2 million will give you 4.7 million, which is Gbemi's income that is taxable. So we are breaking it down here. So when you come here, you remove the first 2.2 million so that you apply the first 15% on it. Then the next one is 9 million naira. Remember, this 9 million is a threshold. Whatever is left, you throw it inside this 9 million naira. So from what we said earlier, 2.5 is remaining. So you just apply 18% on that 2.5 remaining since her income is not up to 50 million. So just remove 18% from the next available balance since it's not up to 9 million naira. Some people earn more than this, and some people own will trickle down. But in the case of Gbemi, this is what is left. 2.5 is left, and 18% of this 2.5 is 450,000 naira. So this is where it starts. Gbemi has no other balance because if you remove the 2.5 plus this 2.2, it gives you a balance of this. So what Gbemi will pay is 780,000 naira as our tax for the year, having earned this amount of money. So you can see how much Gbemi is paying. But just imagine someone like Paulinus, who did not calculate, he paid the amount he was told to pay. Paulinus will pay about 1 million naira. So can you imagine? Then Max, from the story that we said, Max will pay about 2 million because of the penalty that will be levied on him. Will pay about 2 million naira. So you can see, this is the effects of all these things. If you calculate it well, you are going to, get some discount. This whole presentation is making me feel like the accountant. The movie Accountant 1 and 2 is an accountant by day, then a detective kind of by night. I'm just here with my marker. I hope you understand. But one thing is for sure, that accountants are going to, get a lot of briefs. That is, they're going to get a lot of income from consulting and all those things from the year 2026. Let's do another illustrated example. Here, this is the question. And it reads, as an IT specialist, Mr. Aboche earns a substantial income of 100 million naira per annum. What will be his tax liability? So let's calculate to see how much tax. A lot of people in Nigeria are in this category, all those people that, have surplus money. And that is our portion. That is going to be your portion. Amen. So the first step to this is to apply the first tax-free threshold. So the first one, he is going to pay 800 naira from the 800,000 naira from the 100 million. That is 800 has been applied. So the next one, 100 million, is there 2.2 million in 100 million? Yes. So how much do we have? So we have, just like Gbemi, 330,000 naira for the first one. So the next one will be 18%. 18% from 9 million naira, we'll be having 1.620 thousand naira. What's the next one? Is there still money inside remaining? Yes, there's a lot of balance in 100 million. So what's the next one? You apply 21% from the next 13 million available in the account. So you have 2,730 million naira. So is there still money inside? Yes, if you add all this up, it's not up to 100 million. So let's go to the next one. So 25% or 23% to be applied to this 25 million in his account. So 25% of this is 5,750. You now ask, okay, all this is still not up to 100 million. Wow, how much does he have in the account? He still has a lot of money. Okay, let's tax it. So 50 million and above, whatever is left, just apply. So he still have more than 50 million. So whatever is his balance, you just apply it. So what does he have as his balance? You just apply it here. So he's going to have, from what we have here, if you look at all these deductions and applications from what Mr. Abacha has in his account, so it will be, let me amplify it, 22,930. So this is what Mr. Abacha will be taxed as an IT specialist. Now we are assuming that he probably owns his own house. That's why he's paying this amount. Else, if he's paying rent of more than 2.5, he will just apply the rent relief. But as it is right now, this is what he'll be taxed. But earning this amount a year, I'm sure he has his own house. So this is what he's going to pay to government as tax. So from this 100 million, he gets to keep, he keeps, he keeps 77 million, 70,000 naira. That's what he keeps for himself. Then the remaining will act as tax. Please note that any amount you're earning, you can be earning 1 billion per year. Once you get to this threshold, they'll just apply 25% to whatever you're earning. It doesn't progress outside this 25%. After all these ones have been applied, whatever you're earning, be it 1 billion, the likes of Dangote, they will just apply 25% to whatever he's making in that year. He has to keep his receipt, whatever the salary that he's paying his workers will not be applied. So that's the reason why you need to be keeping all these things. All those workers, all those machinery, all the logistics involved, he doesn't. So here's the truth. If you pay blindly, you lose money. If you ignore, government will catch up with you. But if you understand tax, you pay exactly what is fair and you keep all your money. You lose nothing. Now you understand how to calculate tax. Don't be Paulinus, don't be Max. Be smart, be informed, be prepared. Be like Gbemi. Thank you very much for watching. If you got value from this content, I would like you to like, share, and subscribe. Let somebody know about this information. It's going to come very handy because a lot of people are still going to get into trouble with this. Business is no longer business as usual. The government is serious about this whole tax reform, especially from the year 2026. So please let them know so that they don't fall victim just like Max. Thank you very much.